So let's get into NBA award predictions. We're doing MVP, DPOY, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Most Improved. Um,
That's correct.
I'll start with MVP. I'm not trying to be a homer here. I am not. We've talked about it. MVP is a narrative award. It is narrative based. And the strongest narrative heading into this year involves two Celtic superstars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I know it's a homer take. If gun to my head, I had to bet money, I do think Jason Tatum will win the MVP. And I think the league, which again, we always talk about the NBA is a marketing organization. I think the league wants to anoint Tatum MVP. They're done with Jokic Embiid. They're done with that. That is over. Shea could get it. I have Luka third. There's a chance that Jaylen Brown could also win it because that's another guy coming in. Listen, Brown outplayed Tatum in the playoffs last year. Brown was a better player in the playoffs than Tatum was last year. So I think Tatum will win the MVP, but there's like 5% of me that's like, maybe Jaylen Brown like just does it. And maybe Tatum's like just kind of flustered from like the Olympics and Brown is like, no, I'm going to get mine. So honest answer, on the record answer, I think it's Tatum's year to get the MVP. I really think he's been disrespected. Even though Brown outplayed him, like Tatum was the better player in the clincher in game 5. So I think he's fixed his jumper. He's the best defensive wing in the game, best passing wing in the game, and he is going to be very motivated. But part of me thinks Brown. So honestly, I'm ranting. I'll wrap it up. Tatum 1, Luka 2, Brown 3, Shea 4.
You think both guys are going to finish in the top 5 MVP voting? That is honestly bolder than thinking the Lakers can win a playoff round. I think that's a bolder take than.
No, I know, and it doesn't math. I'm more confident that the MVP will wear green. I just don't know who exactly that will be.
I am surprised at the odds when I look at it. SGA, I believe, is plus 550. I think he's like really overwhelming the favorite to win MVP. I have him winning MVP. And you said like it's narrative based. The Thunder because everyone knew they were going to be good last year. Nobody expected 1 seed good. I think now coming into this year with those expectations, I think they achieved those expectations. It's kind of like a coming out party for the Thunder and SGA on the true national stage, national scale. And I think he wins MVP.
I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I think it's really a 3-horse race of Tatum, Luka, and SGA. If you're a serious person. I'm a little unserious, that's why I threw Brown in there. But yeah, SGA for sure. My thing is, I don't want to say that. I'm going to say it. How often does SGA get to the line? That will determine if he wins MVP in my book. If he's getting to the line,
he's a merchant.
If he's a merchant at the line, he will not get MVP, and he might be. He might be. So I'm just saying he might be. Tatum doesn't get fucking calls, so Tatum's not going to the line. Luka can.
Moving on. Quit your pro Celtics bias.
I'll give you a little treat, Henry. You've been such a good boy. I'll give you a little treat. DPOY Wemby. I agree. I know you're going to say it. I know you're going to say it. Both of us did not have the Spurs making the playoffs, by the way, in our earlier videos about playoff finish. But Wemby's DPOY because Gobert's going to take a step back. And I think Wemby's going to do some absurd shit. No disrespect to the other great defensive players in this league. The Bamontes, the Drew Holidays, the Anthony Davises. I just think Wemby's going to do some absurd shit. We're going to see some stats like no one's done this since the 60s, some of the things he might do in terms of getting blocks.
I really, really want Anthony Davis to win this. I just don't. I just think the narrative has passed him by. Like we feel like the Jokic, Embiid, kind of Giannis MVP thing is passed. Although in my core, I do believe Anthony Davis is the best defensive player alive. Like if you need someone for a game, I still would take AD. if you're just looking at the odds right now, the narrative is he's minus 150, minus 170, minus 180, minus 155, minus 200. He's a very overwhelming favorite to win this award.
Wemby, you mean?
Yes. Last year, the narrative was being crafted for him to win Rookie of the Year, which he deserved. I think similarly, the narrative is being crafted for him to win Defensive Player of the Year. Not sure if he'd be the youngest to win it. He certainly would be one of the youngest. Yeah, it's going to be Wemby.
Yeah. Coach of the Year.
I'm going with your boy, Joe Mazzulla. I think this is like a
Joey Mass. All right.
I think this is like a we're sorry we thought you were a moron 2 years ago. The Celtics, as I said, I don't expect them to be as dominant this year as they were last year. But Oklahoma City's Mark Daigneault, sorry, buddy, you're kind of ineligible now. You won it last year. I don't think you're going to win it again back-to-back years. That isn't going to happen. Chris Finch, there's the weird thing with Mike Inori there. I still think we forgot that.
Yeah, I forgot Chris really Finch. Co-coach.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I could see Taylor Jenkins perhaps getting there with Memphis, maybe Rick Carlisle with Indiana. But I think this is a narrative award as well. And I think the narrative is shaping up for Joe Mazzulla. If they win 60 games, maybe they're not as good as they were last year. Just, hey, man, sorry we called you a bird brain from Kendrick Perkins, although he's not sorry about anything. So I have Joey Mass.
Yeah, I wonder when Kendrick Perkins is going to go to jail for that NIL scheme. I do not have Joe Mazzulla winning Coach of the Year because I think the narrative, I agree with you, narrative-based. The narrative around the Celtics is that Brad Stevens is executive of the century, and by retaining all the guys and putting these guys in, Joe Mazzulla just had to go out and coach. And I'm not saying that's correct, but I think I don't think the league is ready to say sorry to Joe Mazzulla just yet. And that's fine. He'll be motivated. He'll coach his ass off, and maybe we'll be talking about this next year. The guy that's going to win the award, I think, is Taylor Jenkins, because I just think on paper, Memphis's roster, compared to some of these other teams, is just not that good. And I think they're going to exceed expectations and perform well. And as I have it, get to the conference semifinals. I know it's a regular season award, but I also think, too, as a coach, after having the year that they had, to rally the boys back and go out and compete means something. So I have Jenkins as one, but don't sleep on Ime Udoka either. I could see him getting some love as well because I think Houston's overlooked by the media. But I have confidence that Taylor Jenkins will win this award.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought Taylor Jenkins won the award a few years ago. That was the fraudulent Monty Williams Coach of the Year.
Oh, my God. Burn that one. Rookie of the Year, I'm going to jump in here. Taylor Jenkins player, Zach Edey. I was shitting on you and Noah, the idiots, about this. I was watching preseason highlights. I was doing some reading. Speaking of reading, Reed Shepherd will not get this award because there's too many guys on Houston for Reed Shepherd, in my opinion, to get the award. Might be a better overall player than Edey, but too many dudes. Zach Edey, meanwhile, now that Steven Adams is ironically with Reed Shepherd in Houston, Edey's going to shine for Memphis. And I think numbers aren't going to be gaudy, but he's going to fill the stat sheet. Blocks, rebounds. And I think the perimeter shooting is going to get better. I do. So give me Zach Edey. I'm fully converted.
You know, CJ, I don't think I could have ever agreed with you more on a take. Like literally every word that came out of your mouth, I'm nodding my head. I think Reed Shepherd, like probably on a per minute basis, is going to be the best rookie. Yeah. There's just a lot of guys in Houston. I don't expect him to be running the offense much.
Houston
I
Rockets
expect
edition.
Him in Guy Time, Houston Rockets edition. Tari Eason, everyone forget about him. He barely played last year. I think Edey's going to win it because he's going to play a big role for a team that is going to be a lot better than they were last year. Expect Reed to play really well. Don't expect him to get the minutes that Edey gets. So it's just really tough. Usually Rookie of the Year is just like a compiling stats award more so than anything. Like Paolo was a good rookie a couple of years ago, but he was on a pretty bad Orlando team and was pretty inefficient. He was just scoring a lot. So that's why he won it a couple of years before that. I guess the team Scotty Barnes was on was pretty good. But this is often a stat compiling award, and I feel like Edey is going to do some good compiling on a pretty good team. A few sleepers, though. Guy I was pretty low on, Matas Buzelis for the Bulls. I think he can make a run at it.
Looks good.
Doing that compiling on a bad team situation. And maybe, just maybe, our boy UConn legend Donovan Clingan could, if he usurps Rob Williams and DeAndre Ayton in Portland and can turn Scoot Henderson and oh boy, Scoot Henderson. Did you see that 4 for 17 game? Oh my Lord,
it's bad. Dude. It's really bad.
It might be over for our boy Scoot. Sorry, Joe. Sorry to our friend Joe Plata.
Yeah, sorry, Joe.
Yeah, I think Clingan and Matas would be two outside candidates, but I have Edey and Reed. Okay, 6th man of the year.
You go.
Oh, you want me to go? Malik Monk probably would have won it last year if he didn't get hurt. Not sure how eligible he's going to be because I'm sure at some point he will take Kevin Huerter's spot. Sorry, Kevin. But I have Malik.
Henry. I completely agree with you. I have Malik Monk. If you've been following Boilers Not Ballers,
too much agreement.
If you follow Boilers Not Ballers, I've picked Malik Monk, I think, to win 6th man of the year like 3 years in a row. And I always pick him. However, and I am still picking him. I'm not going to Pat McAfee this. You know what? Fuck it. I am Pat McAfee this. Give me Dante DiVincenzo. I have in my notes. Let's not sleep on him. He's already mouthing off. But you know what? I rode with Malik. He was my guy. I'm sorry, Malik. Give me fucking Dante DiVincenzo. Bung. Give me that. He's angry. He's fired up. He's ready to rock and roll. He's not going to start, but he's probably going to finish. Pause. Give me Dante DiVincenzo, 6th man of the year. I changed my mind.
Yeah,
I did Pat McAfee this shit.
Yeah, not too long after a proud Italian-American holiday, Columbus Day, you're choosing the Italian.
He was a hero. He was a hero in this house. In this house, he's a hero.
Okay. That's not a bad pick. I think Dante's an awesome player. Lastly, most improved. Who do you have here?
I got the cum bucket, Jonathan Kuminga.
I forgot that was his nickname.
Yep. I have Kuminga. Steve Kerr said he had the green light to shoot threes. Kuminga was a 32% 3-point shooter last year. I think that number goes up. I think with the volume he's probably going to get in the role he's going to play at the 4, I think he's just going to get a lot of opportunity. There were stretches last year. He looked like a really good basketball player. And I've said it on this show a lot, and I think you would agree. Golden State is one of the best talent development franchises in this league. And this isn't like Draymond isn't as good anymore and Clay's not as good. Well, we got to throw Kuminga. He's had a whole offseason to prepare for this. And I was looking at the odds for players and kind of thinking, I think Kuminga can make a jump. And I think him shooting the ball, because they're not going to respect him as a 3-point shooter. Teams are not, they're going to let him shoot. And if he can get to 37, 38%, his numbers are going to jump up. And most improved simply boils down to, similar to what we said about Rookie of the Year, if your numbers jump enough, you get the award. And I think his will.
I'm going in the spirit of the award. I think the Tyrese Maxey's, the John Morant is not the spirit of the award.
No.
A guy we already knew was very good,
Kobe
becoming
White
amazing.
Spirit of the award.
Yes, I'm going similar. Jalen Johnson. I think he was a real candidate last year for Atlanta. Like, just one of the most frightening players in transition, underrated defender, solid passer, great rebounder. He missed a lot of last year. I think he suffered, it was a wrist and then some other injury as well. I expect him to very, very clearly now be the second best player on Atlanta. And this is not really an award that's tied to winning at all.
No, it's not.
That doesn't matter. So, but I just think Jalen Johnson's really awesome. So I have him winning most improved.